Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Mac Show. Today, we are going to be talking about the PlayStation Portal. Yes, this big boy right over here. Great screen, nice and lightweight, fantastic sound. The only problem I'm having is a little bit of stick drift on the right-hand side, but I will get that fixed as soon as possible. But either way, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the big update in terms of cloud and what this means for the future, not only of handhelds, but also of PlayStation. Let's get right into this. Now, this is here from the actual PlayStation blog, and it says here, cloud streaming officially arrives on PlayStation Portal today with new support for digital PS5 games in your library. So this will be available tonight/tomorrow morning, depending on where you are in the world and what time zone you're in. And what it's going to be doing, PlayStation Plus Premium members can now stream select digital PS5 games from their own library at launch. Thousands of PS5 games support cloud streaming, including blockbusters such as Astrobot, etc., etc., etc. Now, that being the case, the word is that it's apparently around 2,800 different games will be able to stream off this device without utilizing a console or without even having to own a PlayStation 5. You can go to the store and purchase one of these PlayStation Portals for $199 US. And then from there, you would be able to have all the PlayStation experiences without having to shell out upwards of $600, $700, and even $800, especially here in Canada, for a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro. So they have a library that you'll be able to access. It's all right here. And then if you can go to that webpage, it'll show you all the different games that you'll be able to access from there. Some of the features. Remote play from home. You could still actually do the remote play on a device. If you have a PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play all your digital library, everything that you've purchased, and everything thus far without having to have the PlayStation Plus membership. However, if you want to do the cloud streaming, you're going to have to go to PlayStation Plus Premium. We're going to get into that pricing in just a moment. So in Canada, it's $24.99 for PlayStation Plus Premium. Okay, so that with tax, that works out to approximately $28 and change. Now, in comparison to Xbox Game Pass, for example, I know it's a different service. It certainly offers different things. However, I'm looking at the prices, not looking at all the nuances of the two different services. If you look at the prices, worked it all out here in Canadian dollars, $38.62 for Game Pass Ultimate, and the difference is $10.37 in favor of PlayStation Plus Premium and being able to do all these different things. Now, the other thing it also added was 3D audio support. So if you have headphones or anything like that, you've had like the Elite Pulse headphones, they're fantastic. Or even just the regular Pulse headphones, you will be able to get the 3D audio experience, as well as, of course, the haptic feedbacks and everything that's already in the unit as of now. So there's also going to be access to in-game store. And of course, you're going to have game invites. You can play with friends and everything else. You can go to the store. You can basically do everything you can on a PlayStation 5 without actually having to purchase a PlayStation 5. Why is this important? I'll tell you why this is important. First of all, I feel that this is the first step towards the often rumored PlayStation 6 handheld that's going to come out sometime during the release of the actual PlayStation 6 console. And I think that this is basically beta testing that in a way so that there's an option for the future as to how they're going to run it and how they're going to organize it. I think it'll be the exact same thing. This also is very important because this is extremely cheap compared to the other handhelds that are on the market right now. Yes, I understand you can get a Steam Deck for about $350, $400 out there. However, in terms of like what Xbox and Asus is doing right now, you're looking at upwards of $1,000 US for the Ally X, which in Canadian dollars translates to roughly $1,593. That's with tax included here in Ontario. And this thing is $200. So at the end of the day, when you talk about who are these products for, especially I've done it on my show, I've done it on XNC as well. We've had many discussions about, for example, these high-powered, expensive handheld consoles, so to speak. And the reason why it's important is because who are these for? Well, I would say out of the 15% hardcore, the 85% being, of course, the casual market, there's the 15% hardcore. I would imagine that only 5% of that 15% is going to purchase something like a ROG Ally X simply because of the price, not because of the power or the features or anything like that. The Ally X is an incredible machine that can do incredible things. However, there's still a paywall that is insurmountable for a lot of people. I have been speaking to neighbors and friends who won't even shell out $500 for a Switch 2. There is no chance in hell that they're going to be dishing out double and almost triple that for a handheld that can do basically a lot more. But either way, it's the price. But this is a whole different ballgame. You'll be able to have that PlayStation experience for $199. That is an incredible deal, and I think that is going to be targeting a completely different market. I would imagine that 85%. Yes, you're going to have to pay for PlayStation Plus Premium. Many people have pointed that out to me throughout the day. I understand all that. However, it's a lot easier to swallow that pill of $25 a month for the PlayStation Plus Premium and $199 price tag, as opposed to $1,000 and up, plus having to pay $30, for example, if you want Game Pass on there, $30 a month for Game Pass on top of it. And of course, those were US dollars. Like I said, in Canadian dollars, $38.62. So I think that this is going to be a shot across the bow for those other products. Yes, I know they're not for the same people per se. Yes, you'll have the hardcore who will pick up on. I know a lot of Xbox players who do not have a PlayStation 5. However, they are highly interested now in picking up this Portal because they did not want to dish out $600 or $700 for a PlayStation 5, especially towards the end of the generation, and then being able to experience those games. Now you could do that for literally almost one quarter of the price. I think this is a great thing for the market. I think it's a great thing for the future. And I think it's something that's, like I said, I think it's going to pave the way for the new handheld that's going to be coming out during the PlayStation 6 launch. One more thing I wanted to talk about very briefly was, of course, the talk about the PC buy anywhere PlayStation situation, where if you buy a game on your PlayStation, you'll be able to access it on your PC eventually. I have questions about that, but I'll save that for a podcast. But either way, I think that's also tied into this situation, right? So that you'll be able to purchase games on the go. You'll be able to do that, purchase at home, or be able, and then of course play on the handheld later on. For example, on the PlayStation 6, if you pick, you're playing, Last of Us 3 or God of War Egypt, whatever it is, you buy it on your PlayStation, you'll be able to play that directly on the handheld because you've already purchased it once. Now, I'm not 100% sure about all that because these are all just rumors. These are just some thoughts and opinions that I'm having and why I think that they're doing this. I think this is the first step towards the next generation of what they're going to be doing in terms of their home consoles and, of course, their handhelds. Now, I want to ask you, are you excited about this? Are you planning to pick up a PS Portal if you don't have one already? And if you do have one already, are you excited to try out all these different games on cloud streaming? Let me know in the comments. Have yourself a wonderful day. We got lots to do this week, folks. I got lots of videos coming out and a lot of things to talk about. So have a wonderful day. Stay magnificent. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye now.